Arbor One West versus Rosa Bannick.
I'm here.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Cheryl Luckoff on behalf of the plaintiff.
Bannick?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. All right. Where are we on this case?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that the tenant is in the process. Was she supposed to receive her keys today? Is that correct, Ms. Bannick?
Yeah, I just have to drop off the lease or whatever and then go from there.
They're going to sign the lease today and pick up the keys, correct?
Yeah, I have it signed and just I'm not feeling good right now, so I'm gonna have him drop it off.
Okay.
All right. So that puts her into the new unit, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So then where do we want to go from here? Because I have, I don't know, whatever
you
in
can,
escrow. I think 3980 or something like that. No, I got more
now. So you can release the funds to them, and then in the lease it has something about prorated rent, and I have that. I'm just going to give it to them.
Your Honor, I'm going to do something a bit unusual.
Okay.
I'm going to ask for escrow to be released, but we're going to waive the rest of the balance here and let her move into her new unit. She's been extremely patient.
Got it.
Been in, not the greatest situation. So her balance right now is $51,53.85.
And you said how much was her balance?
$5,153.85.
Okay. And then what do I have in this?
3980.
I have 3980 in escrow, and then you're going to waive that. So pay the 3980, and that will take care of that prior unit.
Yes. And let her start fresh in the new unit.
Will that work for you, Miss Bannick?
Yeah.
I thought it might. All right. All right. So we'll do it that way and release escrow to plaintiff. And
awesome.
Then we'll dismiss the action.
Yes. And then this case is dismissed.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Bannick. Feel better.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Luckoff. Ms. Bannick, feel better, please.
Thank you. I'm going to the doctor's today, so hopefully it's the end of it.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
Okay. Go! Hand me my screen box.
Now go free. Rah.
Court calls the case Monica King versus Sarah Goebbels. Okay, your name?
Hi, I'm Monica King.
Okay.
Good morning, Sarah Gold.
All right. This is a termination case.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I didn't think I needed an attorney, and so I'm not up on. It's a request to have a 30-day termination and have my home back.
Right, but
So I'm not up on the lingo that an attorney would have for you. And I submitted some paperwork and my statement about what's been happening.
okay. So let me ask a few questions. Is there a lease?
No, sir.
There's no lease. Okay.
There's no lease. There was a verbal agreement. However, there was an ad that I included that they were aware of, and I gave them a lease, but it was never signed. And so we just went on a verbal.
Okay.
Between month to month, and they were given notice back in December that I wanted them to leave. It was initially supposed to be temporary anyhow.
All right.
Because Sarah was pregnant.
I got it. So
They said they were going to be homeless, and they knew I had a room for rent.
right, I understand that, but has rent been paid?
Not since December.
Okay.
And honestly, I told them not to pay rent and to just use that money towards their first and last months and to be able to get another place since they seem.
I got you. So,
So I've been paying for everything, for the utilities and covering all expenses except for their.
okay, I understand that. All right, what do you have to say about this?
So, Your Honor, when we moved in, actually, we were gardening for her. So, what she
Your
says,
wife?
I didn't know she was renting a room. I had discussed with her when we were working for her. I've worked for Miss King since me and my husband worked for her on and off since June of last year. But when I had my son in December and I was in the hospital, she started having issues with my partner and, she never once stated she wanted me out. She kept going back and forth. She has 1 minute said she wanted me to go. The next minute said she didn't. 1 minute she wanted me to go. Next minute she didn't. This woman has used her key to come in and out. She has assaulted me. She has thrown my belongings. She is really, honestly, to be honest with you, I've never gone through such a traumatic situation with somebody I didn't know, to be honest with you. Because I was working for Miss King, it's been a little difficult, moving, trying to find, this whole month, I've literally been trying to get out. I don't actually want to be near her.
Let me stop you. Let me ask you this, because there are certain things that have to occur. Your answer that you filed indicates, well, for asking you, what day did you give the notice to the tenants that they had 30-day notice?
Well, Your Honor, if you can see, I had some paperwork. The fourth page shows my, on December 11th, I messaged both of them.
Well, that's not my question. My question is, in order to invoke the jurisdiction of the court to handle this, I have to have a valid notice.
Okay, well,
And
so I formally filed notice in March after Aaron begged me not to because.
okay. I don't care what Aaron said. I don't care what anybody said. I'm asking you a specific question.
So emailing them both and giving them verbal notice that they.
Ma'am, listen very closely to me.
Okay.
There's a document that you have to file called a notice to quit. And the one that I have, or notice to quit to recover possession of property.
Mhm.
The one that I have in the file indicates that you served it on them, that you delivered it personally to them on March 1st of 2024. Is that true?
Yeah, that was after asking them to leave. Yes, I did that then. And Sarah has never worked for me, has never been employed with me.
Okay, I really don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mean to be crass, but I don't care. I'm asking a very specific question.
Okay, that was the only formal filing I did, yes, in March.
The notice to quit to recover possession of the premises indicates here that you served that to them on March 1st.
Correct.
You're indicating that you didn't get it until March 18th.
Yes, me personally. She and I discussed me staying, and on the 18th, when she assaulted me, that's when she told me and gave me this paper to leave. The notice to quit.
Is that correct, ma'am?
No, it is not correct.
So you delivered it to her on March 1st?
Yes, and her husband. They were
Okay.
both aware of it. In fact, the
Well,
police-
whether or not they're aware of it or not,
Mhm.
I'm asking about the notice.
Yes, they were both given notice on that day. Yep.
All right. So at the top, on the copy I have,
Mhm.
there's a date under paragraph 2 that says you must move by, and it's scratched out, and then a new date is put on there. When was that new date put on there?
It was put on when it was served to them and given to them because we had talked about it several times prior, and I had not given it to them, and I gave it to them on the 1st. And that was written then.
Rent, when it is paid, is monthly. Is that correct?
Weekly, $180 a week.
Do you agree with that, ma'am?
You know, I was trying to help them and I let them tell me what would work for them. And that was what Aaron suggested.
Okay, so let me try this.
Paying weekly, which has not happened since December. And that's because the police were out.
Okay, you guys let me know when you're done, and then I'll ask my question.
Okay, so you don't want me to say.
Was the rent supposed to be paid monthly, but you allowed her to pay it weekly? Or was the rental agreement weekly?
My normal thing would have been monthly, but they asked to pay it weekly. And I let them determine both their rent amount and how they wanted to do it because it was supposed to be temporary. They were being evicted and homeless. And so I just let them have the room and said, what would work? What can you afford until, you find another place?
Okay. Let me just try it again. Were you renting this out weekly to them or were you renting it out monthly to them?
I agreed to them weekly.
So it was
That's what they asked for.
So it was a weekly rental.
Yes.
And you would agree with that?
To be honest with you, I don't know. Miss King is very confusing, and I never had a conversation with her. My partner did. She never spoke to me. I was under the impression that it was monthly. The reason why we were paying weekly was because she was having him work for her and taking some off for the work that he did during the week for her. So that's why we paid weekly, because she would take off what amount he did for her. What amount of work he did for her. I'm sorry. It was confusing.
Is that true, ma'am?
Most of I asked them, most of the money went back to pay for, the reason they were there originally was because I needed someone to do my lawn.
Okay.
And so the rent would go back to Aaron to pay for him doing the lawn and some of the lawn care. Sarah was never received any money, but most of the rent went back. And that's what I use that rent for, is to pay for my yard because I'm ill and I can no longer do it myself. So he would pay me and then I would use the money to pay him for any work he did. And that stopped in December.
So hold it. And you would pay him weekly?
Yes.
But the tenancy, okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is that it really was a monthly tenancy, but that the reason you were getting the monies weekly is because that's how you paid him. And then you would deduct out, he would do work. You would be paying him for that work weekly. And then keeping whatever portion, and that would go to rent.
Well, Your Honor, this is the first time I've ever done that, but that was what he asked me to do. And so.
Okay. Doesn't really matter if it's the first time, 100th time. I'm just trying to figure out what this tenancy was. So again, let me explain what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is Aaron worked for you. There was an agreed upon, whatever it was, amount of rent, whatever that was, that would have, had he worked someplace else, been paid to you monthly, right? But it wasn't paid monthly only because he worked for you. You would pay him for that work that was done. The rest you would retain for rent. Is that Am I correct? Because that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I don't, I don't know what to tell you. I just did what they asked me to do. I was trying to help. And so, yeah, he would pay me. He asked to pay weekly, not because of me, but because that's what worked for him. He got paid each week. And I think it was a drug addiction problem and he wanted to keep things pretty tight. So he gave me the money and then the next week I would use that money to pay him for any work he did the following week. And we had a verbal agreement that it was month to month and that either one of us.
Okay,
And
then I'm done. I'm done. Because, and well, everybody didn't want to answer my question. I'm trying to figure out what the length of the tenancy is. There's a difference as to what has to happen if it's a week-to-week tenancy or whether a month-to-month. When you first got here, ma'am, you told me it was a month-to-month, which typically most rental situations are. But then there's this payment weekly.
Yeah.
But why does this weekly payment occur? Is it because they're renting weekly? No, they're renting monthly. The payment weekly only happens because that's how he's getting paid by you. And then you can pay him and then retain whatever there was for the rent. So really they were paying on their tenancy was for a month. It just got paid in these increments because of the work that was happening. Okay. So now I've taken this long, circuitous route to try to get to my answer. It's a month to month. Do you have in front of you, ma'am, a copy of the notice to quit that I'm referencing that you sent to them?
I don't know that I do. So can I ask you a question, Your Honor? So you're saying on a month to month that it doesn't matter that you have verbally asked people to leave and given them a verbal and written notice via email, and also that they've agreed to be out by the end of January, that none of that.
Ma'am, I don't know why you're asking me that, and I'm not going to answer that. I don't know that.
Well,
I
I
had
the emails. Okay. All right. I understand I needed an attorney today.
Well, you're going to need an attorney another day, because do you have a copy of the notice to quit that you sent them?
I don't think I do.
All right. Let me tell you what the notice to quit that I have says. Notice to quit basically says in its relevant parts is that you've asked them under paragraph 2, there, and again, the original date is scratched out. And written in there is March 30th, 2024. What?
Correct. That sounds correct.
Why are you looking at me?
Mine says, same paragraph, paragraph 2. This is the first paper I got. You must move by 3/8/2024, and she scratched off the date prior to that. So I don't.
What are you talking about?
This is the first paper she ever gave me, the notice to quit. Oh, maybe this is the 30-day notice? I don't know what.
Well,
I have no idea.
ma'am, did you give this to her? Show that to the plaintiff.
Well, it's my writing. Yes, I probably do give that.
And that says 3/8. So why does the one I have for the court say 3/4?
I don't know, except that I didn't file with the court. Aaron begged me not to file anything with the court because he said it would send him to jail.
Okay, I don't know how that happens, but it doesn't really matter. You have to, in order for the court to hear the matter, there has to be a valid notice to quit. Otherwise, because I'm a statutory court, I don't get what's called subject matter jurisdiction to even hear the case. So there are two problems here. One, which was the one I was getting to when I read off when I was reading the dates, and why I was asking what the rental period was. It sounds to me, and you said it, that this is a month to month, which means you have to give them a month's notice. The notice that I have in the file is given to them on the 1st, according to you, is given to them on March 1st, telling them that they have to leave by March 30th. Even if I were being generous under the computation of time that's used under the Michigan court rules, that would be 29 days, which means you haven't given them a rental period to move if it's a month to month. So I don't believe that the court has obtained subject matter jurisdiction. I am also now concerned, as Ms. Goebbels then gives me a copy of the notice that she received, that it has a different date than the one that the court has. Even if I were to take that date as true, that gives 1 week, actually less than 1 week, but it gives 1 week for them to move out. Everybody, at least at this point, and I'll make the finding that this is a month-to-month tenancy. That's an insufficient notice in terms of the one that you gave her.
Wouldn't that be at the beginning of April
What would be at the beginning of April?
for them to move out, given a notice on March 1st?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, it's clear that I needed an attorney,
Yes, you do.
and I couldn't afford.
And so we can stop this now because I can't do anything legally. The only thing I can do is I can dismiss this case because this court does not have subject matter jurisdiction to decide it. Case dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Hamilton Crossing 1 versus Emily McKinney. Hello,
Hi,
what's your name?
Emily McKinney.
All right. And I had 1335 last time we were here.
Your Honor, I have 1336.
Okay. So a dollar got over. Okay. So how were you intending on getting that paid, ma'am?
So when I seen the judge last, I filled out for the SCR and I've submitted the proof through email to the courts on Tuesday to let them know. And then I spoke with my DHS worker and she said, she communicated with CMA, they paid partial of my rent and it's based off my income. And since I lost my job, CMA sent me a packet last week that I sent right back to adjust my rent. It's supposed to be at 0. But DHS is processing my SCR packet.
So your rent's supposed to be 0.
Oh, well, I lost my job back in
No, I got you, but your rent's supposed to be 0. is what
moving
you-
forward, yes.
Moving forward.
Yes.
Okay. So how's this 1336?
They're processing the SCR packet, but she was waiting for my rent to be adjusted
But-
so they could process the application.
But the SER isn't going to cover this entire amount.
Why not?
It's not what they do. I mean, I
Are
don't
they gonna
think
cover a portion of it?
they would cover a portion of it, but then the other part of it needs
I'm
to
gonna
be
borrow it
paid.
from my sister. Yeah.
Okay. So how much are you going to be able to pay?
Well, I wouldn't know until they tell me how much they're gonna cover.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be I'm just,
No, I know you're not trying to be difficult. I'm trying to figure out a way to make this work without giving you a judgment. But
what CMA said they will have my rent adjusted within 14 days. And
okay, but are they going to adjust?
no, they're not going
April?
back. No, they're not adjusting nothing I owe now.
Pardon?
They're not going back to adjust nothing I owe.
They're not adjusting April.
No. I don't know why, but no, I was not working in April.
Well, hold it. When did you stop working?
Can I look at my phone? So I can-
Sure.
I got fired on, I want to say in March. End of March, I got fired.
Okay, and then, so you didn't have income for April.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know why they're not adjusting for April.
I don't know either.
Okay.
Or-
At most, I mean, they may come, I'm just ballparking it. I'm not giving an exact figure. You're gonna get about 500 or so from SER if we're
Mhm.
lucky. Okay.
Mhm.
So you're still gonna then be about 800 short.
Okay.
Okay. So making certain assumptions that, and we might be wrong on this, but your May rent is going to be 0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say you get the 500 from SER, right? I'm going to be 800 short.
Okay.
So without giving you a judgment today, I'd have to try to figure out how much you can pay because we're going to be short.
Okay.
Okay. So how much do you think you can borrow from your sister?
Whatever is left from the,
Okay, I know you told me that. So let me ask you this, okay? Because I got to deal with numbers here.
okay.
Can you get 800 from your sister?
Mhm.
You can?
But not today.
Okay,
She's
so,
doing surgery. She's a doctor in Atlanta.
Pardon?
She's a doctor. I probably won't be able to contact her till Friday next week. She in
Ne-
surgery all this week.
next Friday?
Mm-hmm. To talk to her.
Well, okay. Do you think by next Friday you can get 800 from her?
How many days is that? That's a
That's 7 days.
no. Can I get 2 weeks to come up with 800?
If I knew that your rent was at 0, I would have no problem doing that.
No, it
I
really-
don't have anything saying your rent is 0.
Oh, but can y'all let them know that I stay in the income base? It's only right that they.
I know, ma'am,
Oh, you know what Hamilton Crossing is?
pardon?
You know what that is?
What, income-based housing?
No,
Yeah,
that's where I
'cause I've been doing
stay.
this for about 30 years. I get it. I get the whole thing.
Oh, they have to put it as, I don't got no income. They gonna have to put it as 0.
I just messaged my client and they have not received a notification from CMA yet.
Who?
Hamilton Crossing.
Why would they? I just sent them the letter. It said, I told it take 2 weeks to process the rent
Okay.
adjustment. I
All right,
just sent
ma'am.
it back. I sent it off a couple days.
Ma'am, follow me here.
Okay.
All right. We're sitting here right now on the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to do is I'll give you time to get everything straight,
Thank you.
but I can't do that if I'm not sure of certain things.
Okay.
So one of the things I would need to be sure of is that your rent is 0, because that way then it's not going to get the amount that you owe isn't going to get any worse.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
but I don't have that.
Or can you give me time to get it
So-
from CMA? They said it should take anywhere from 7 business days to 10. It's been 5 already that I gave them the proof that I've been fired.
So you think CMA will have an answer by next week?
Yes, they have need time to process it.
Okay.
That's what they told me.
Okay, but look. Here's the thing.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to save your housing here.
Please.
Okay, I know, but you got to help me. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you're going to borrow the money
Mhm.
to get that gap filled, right? I need you to do that.
Okay.
Okay, so that you got to do that as soon as you can. Because then I can say to the landlord, okay, we're going to wait because she's got this 0 rent, hopefully for May.
Mhm.
She's got this SER. If they come up with 500, but even if they come up with 3, I'm only 200 short at that point.
Mhm.
Okay, you see what I'm trying to do?
Mhm.
Okay, but you got to do your part on it.
Okay.
Okay? And so your part's going to be this, that you have to get that 800. Now, if you got to call your sister. If that's where you're going to borrow it.
Mhm.
Okay? There's going to be an answer, hopefully from CMH coming, or not CMH, but CMA coming on next week. If you did it 5 days ago, right? So I'm going to adjourn this to April 26th, 2024 at
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay.
Come in person.
Yes, you
Okay.
need to be here because I know this wouldn't work over Zoom. And so I'm going to be looking for the CMA and then the 800 that you were going to borrow from your sister. I'm going to be looking at getting a status about all of that. Got it? Okay. Something doesn't come through, there's not going to be a whole lot I can do. Follow me? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's not going to go well. Hamilton Crossing versus Emily McKinney. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Your name?
Emily McKinney.
Okay, what's the claim in this case?
Your Honor, Ms. McKinney's balance is $636.
I'm sorry, it was,
$636.
okay.
I had just plaintiff is willing to offer Ms. McKinney a conditional order of dismissal that requires timely rent to be paid starting in May, as well as $100 towards the balance each month. I understand she has a money order in hand for, that she's gonna drop off at Hamilton Crossing in the amount of $100. Okay.
Okay. Skinny, is that what you'd like to do?
No,
No?
I would like to, but I don't want to agree to something that I'm not sure. I think I need a little bit more time because the first is in 4 days. And
Pardon?
the first is in 4 days. So if I agree to that, I will have to make.
Well, hold on. The second they, so are you gonna be able to get your May rent paid on time, or what's gonna be the holdup for you?
I believe I will be, but I was just wondering if I can get a few more days. But if I do take a few more days, am I gonna have to pay a late fee?
And your late fees would be assessed according to the terms of your.
Oh,
So it looks like your late fee doesn't assess until the 6th of each month.
So until that first Monday in May.
do you know how much the late fees are? $50?
Yeah.
How much time could I get?
How much time can you get to do what?
Pay my May rent on the first. What were you trying to?
Well, okay, what they're trying to offer you is,
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying, do you have anything else that will allow me a little bit more time or no?
than what they're offering?
Yeah,
No,
why?
because I don't really have that. So what they're offering you is to be able to pay your rent as you normally would, plus $100 in addition to that each month. I couldn't order that if I wanted to, quite frankly. So they're giving you a way out of this, but the only thing that I would be able to do for that 636 is just grant them a judgment for that amount. And then you got to work it out with them anyway. But at least the way what they're offering to you, you won't have a judgment.
Why can't I just come back? Why you can't give me like a little bit more time to come back? Then
A little
can
bit
we all
more.
agree to June? Because my rent should be adjusted by June anyway, so I would just have to worry about paying $100 a month.
Okay, but I can't, if it's going to be adjusted. So,
I just want a little bit more time to pay May rent. And then I was wondering
okay,
if I
so,
could still get that
okay,
agreement.
that's what I asked you at the beginning, Ms. Kip McKinney. When I asked you, you're not going to have May rent. So when are you going to have May rent?
Can I look at my calendar?
Yeah,
Like by the 8th?
by the 8th?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. And then you think your June rent's going to be zero.
Because CNA.
Okay. So if you pay the 100, so just so I'm clear, the 100 that you have now, if you pay that to them, right? Then you'd have your May payment by the 8th. Now you're gonna get a late charge under your lease if you pay it by the 8th.
But I'm gonna try to aim for the 6th.
Okay. So, Ms. Kazari, can we do this? So, well, Ms. McKinney, you would agree to the conditional order dismissal if you can pay your May rent by the 8th, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, can we make that adjustment in terms of the conditional order dismissal?
I mean,
I think that's probably fine.
And then you get the months after, you're expecting to go down to 0, so then your rent's gonna be due when it's ordinarily due. Okay, you understand that?
the adjusted rent is gonna be due on the first, plus they said sometime within that month to pay the $100.
Right, so the $100, let's say, will be due by the 15th of the month?
They didn't say.
I know, I'm trying,
You can tell me a date and I'll include it.
okay.
Do the same date.
Oh, gotta be the same day.
So is it the 15th of the month, the 20th of the month? What is it?
That's a little risky because if I don't do that, then they can evict me. Like, why do I have to be, why can't it just be, it can't be within that month?
No, I need a date.
Oh,
We
Jesus.
can make
Okay.
it-
There has to be a date.
Well, oh my God, the last day, then it's gonna be the next day for rent. Let me see.
That's why I suggested the 15th
The 15th.
of the month. Yes.
I get my bridge card on the 15th. But
Pardon?
it's ridiculous. Yeah,
The 15th?
yeah.
Okay. So that'd be due by the 15th of the month. So here's a way a conditional order dismissal works. The first month for your rent, it's gonna be due on the 8th. You'll have up until the 8th to pay it. After that, you're gonna have to pay your rent timely plus the $100 by the 15th of the month. For May, you're gonna pay the $100 that you have now. So you're gonna pay the $100 to them now.
So it'll be 536. So I just be paying this for like
It'd be
5
months, right?
or sooner if I pay.
Somewhere around there. Okay. All right. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have to tell you,
She got some,
It's a couple, so is the late fee gonna be paid on May?
but I'm aiming for the 6th though. Do I have to come back to see you?
I'm working on that not happening.
And I'm saying, I don't know.
I'm sorry,
Okay. So you're not gonna have I know you were aiming for the 6th, but you're not gonna have the late fee, right?
You said you can't change it. You could change it.
Change what?
The late fee. That's not up to me. It's up to them.
Well, Ms. Gazzari said your late fee will be due according to your lease. So if you pay it by the 8th, I told you the late fee is gonna click in.
Oh, so I need to make sure I have $215 plus $50. That's what you're saying?
yes.
Oh, okay.
All right, so yes. And you have until the 8th. All right. So you're gonna pay the $100 now.
Well, when I leave.
Yes, when you leave, you're gonna get May's rent paid by the 8th with its late fee.
Or this.
And then after that, you're gonna pay on the 15th you're gonna pay your rent timely. Plus on the 15th of the month, you're gonna pay $100 until that back balance is paid in full. Understand that? Okay. If you don't pay it, then what will happen is the plaintiff can submit an affidavit that you haven't complied with what we've agreed to. Plus they can submit a judgment plus an order of eviction, which I would sign all at one time. Okay, so you got to make sure it's done. You with me so far? And that would be done without having a hearing. They could just do that. Okay? You do have 3 business days to think about this if you believe that there's, from the time of my signing, if you believe that there is some legal reason, some confusion on your part, some misunderstanding of your rights regarding this conditional order of dismissal, you would have to file a motion with the court within those 3 business days. That doesn't mean that I would grant it. It just means you have that time to file. You understand all of that, Ms. McKinney?
Yes, I do.
All right. Thank you.
No, I'm sorry. I have a couple more things.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So for the conditional order of dismissal, she also has to comply, Ms. McKinney also has to comply with the terms of your lease, and there's no 14-day objection or notice period. So if you don't comply with the terms, there's no hearing or anything. We just submit the affidavit and it's entered. And
The terms of paying.
I'm sorry?
So you talking about the terms of paying? What he just talked about?
I'm saying if you don't do that, let's say you don't pay,
Oh, okay.
there's not another.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Right.
same with the 56-day rule. If it ends up, 56 days from today, you default on this agreement, there's still not another hearing. We submit everything.
Okay. Yep. I understand that.
You understand everything?
Yeah.
Okay. And as long as it complies with those terms, you give the plaintiff the authority to sign your name to that conditional order of dismissal and get you a copy?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, fantastic. All right, Ms. McKinney.
Like, no,
What? You know what?
I said it's like, no, I'm just playing. Yes, I do.
All right. Ms. McKinney, you have a great weekend.
Like, no, I don't have no money to be, where am I?
Just put your email. I just want your email address.
Oh, let me back up.
No, I'm just waiting.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. All right, thank you. You have a great weekend. Wow. I'm gonna get up and leave right now. Court calls the case of Peninsula Place versus Destiny Jenkins Jones. Hello,
Hello,
what's your name?
Destiny Jenkins Jones.
All right. I had $2,067.86 last time.
Yes.
Yeah. I got 1,200 today for them, and then I just started back working. So next week I'll be able to pay about 600.
Hold on a second.
Oh,
Okay, you have 1,200 today.
yeah, I can pay them 1,200 today.
You have that in cash?
No, it's on my card.
Okay, so you're gonna pay 1,200 today,
Yeah,
and then you said next week
yeah. I can pay about 600.
about 600.
Well, I mean that's what I get paid. So a week now. I mean, I can ask my parents for some help. Like, I'm not tripping.
Sounds like my daughter. Okay, let me ask this young lady.
Yeah.
When can you get this 2,067 paid off? However you get it paid off.
I mean, I have a job now. I had to quit my last job, so that's why I got like behind. So I can pay 1,200. What? Why? What?
I'm just waiting for the plan.
I'm telling you the plan. You don't like my plan. That's
I did. Did I say I didn't like your plan?
Because I said I could ask my parents for money.
And I said,
Never.
yeah, that sounds like my daughter. I get it. I know how that works. So will they give you the money?
Yes, they're my parents. I don't know. So after I paid the 1,200 today, where am I left at? Like, what's my receipt out?
Hang on, they got to do math. You're at about 867.86.
Oh, my parents giving me $200 plus like the little 600 that I make a week. They could give me more than that. I have two parents, so they could help me. I
get you. I'm listening to everything you're telling me.
No, my dad could pay it, but because I live by myself, I'd rather try to be independent. Do you get what I'm saying? So,
I know. I get what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Understand what I'm trying to do. All I'm trying to do is get you paid up before the end of this month.
I can get it paid up. If it's $800 left after today, I can get it paid up.
Okay. So, all right. So here's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
Can you get that paid up by next Friday? Because then what happens is that means I can do one thing. If you can't, I've got to do something else.
Well,
That's all I'm
what can
trying
you
to do.
What can you do if I can't? Because no. I'm just saying. I'm telling you that I can get it paid. But if you're gonna make it a little easier for me, then we can talk.
Destiny, you're killing me.
What did
No, you didn't do anything. Really, you did not do anything. I am listening to this plan. If you don't mind, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay. Okay, so what you're giving me is you're giving me a 21-year-old's plan. All right.
And what's wrong?
No, this is like talking to my daughter. There's this whole, everything's coming out. I know it makes sense to you. I'm just trying to get it to make sense to me in terms of what I have to do.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm not trying to tease you or disrespect you in any way. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'm trying to just follow.
Okay.
Okay. But what you have to do is you have to tell me what you can do and what you can't do. Okay. And what you want to do. And then I can tell you what I can do and try to make this work for you.
Okay. How can you make it work for me? Because I already told you what I can do.
Because it's all about me. No. Okay. You've got $1,200 today. You're going to pay the $1,200.
Yeah.
Okay. What I don't want to do is I don't want to give you a judgment if I can help it.
Okay.
Okay.
That would mean me coming back to court or something.
No,
Because I
that
don't
would
wanna
mean
come
you'd
back.
have something on your record that says you have a judgment. And I don't think you want that.
Yeah, I don't want that.
All right. So you can pay $600 next week, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Can you get that? What time's the hearings next week?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay. Can you get that? Can you get that paid to the landlord before 2 p.m. next Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What's-
Some people can't. So I'm just asking. I'm not okay. So if you get that paid, that's 1,800 of this too. So it'll be about 267 or 270 short. And
Yes,
then you-
and I can get that from my parents, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Now you go ahead.
No, I was just telling you because that's what I'm saying. I can pay the 600, that I get paid next week, and then whatever is left, I'll just ask my parents for it because that's not a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. So here's what you do.
Okay,
You pay the $1,200 to the landlord today.
of course.
Then and I'm going to set a hearing time for April 26th.
Do I have to come back in person? I'm sorry, this is my
Oh,
first time in court.
Me too. So we'll get through this.
Okay.
April 26, 2024 at 2 p.m. If you get all of that, all of the balance paid to the landlord, you don't need to be here, but you got to make sure that happened.
Of course.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to give you that opportunity to pay it off in a week. Okay.
Yes.
We're
thank
good?
you so much. Yes.
You're welcome. All right. Are you in school?
Yes, I am. They're making it hard for me out here.
Who's making it hard for you? The school?
Peninsular Place.
Okay. No, okay. You're in school?
Yeah.
Where?
Eastern Michigan.
Studying what?
Journalism. And listen, a minor in criminal justice.
Wow. Okay.
Okay,
Are you going to try to be a lawyer?
no, I want to be a judge. This is serious.
Oh, so you want my job. I see what's going on here. All right. All right, young lady. We may or may not see you next week. Get everything paid, and then you'll be all set.
Of course.
All
And I wouldn't have to come back, right?
You don't, as long as everything's paid,
Yeah.
you don't have to come back.
That's
All right?
Yes, that's perfect.
Destiny, thank you.
Thank you. So
You have a great day.
have a beautiful day.
That was like talking to my daughter. I don't know what just happened. I have no idea. Court calls the case Evergreen Apartments versus Desiree France.
Desiree appearing for plaintiff.
She's in Zoom. Desiree France?
I'm here. Can you hear me? I'm here.
Yes,
Can you hear
we
me?
can hear you. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, I'm here.
All right. I had We were at 4,000. Last time, there were repairs that needed to be done.
Your Honor, the balance is the same, $4,032. There were issues with.
That's not correct.
Access.
Hold on, please. Go ahead.
There were issues with allowing access to inspect and do the repairs. At the last hearing, we were told that she was going to be there for the appointment on the 15th.
Yes.
Again, my understanding, it would continue to be canceled and rescheduled. They did get into the home yesterday, and
Why was the 15th canceled?
Ms. France canceled it.
The 15th was canceled for me. I had an appointment to make it to.
See, this can't work this way if you're going to claim that they haven't made the repairs, but you got in yesterday.
Yeah, they got in to make some of the repairs yesterday.
Your Honor, I can go through what the repairs were that were done. The original work order indicated there was no dishwasher installed. There was a dishwasher installed that was replaced. She had indicated there was a leaking toilet. The toilet tank bolts were tightened, resolving the leak. She indicated their master bath sink leaked. They replaced a P-trap assembly as a precaution, and were not able to replicate the leak. She indicated there was a broken screen in her daughter's room. One screen was replaced before the other one could be replaced. Ms. France and asked the team, indicated that it was taking too long and indicated she would contact the office to reschedule. She indicated there was a loud bath fan. That bath fan was while maintenance was there. She also requested that the dining room bifold closet was off its track, and that was repaired with a door saver and was reinstalled. She indicated the hall closet bifold was off track and damaged. That was repaired with a door saver and was reinstalled. So as far as plaintiff is concerned, all of the work order is now closed pending communication from her regarding the second screen installation.
So if it was, I'm sorry, is it my turn to speak?
Go ahead.
Okay, so when they came out, I had to be at neurology. They entered the home at around 9 o'clock, which was fine. Didn't have an issue with them doing the repairs. But when it got closer to time to go to neurology, I indicated that that they could return to finish out the repairs, because when they installed the dishwasher, the new one, they did not fix the flooring. And then the screens have to be put back in, and then the flooring in the bathroom and stuff was not fixed at that moment, which I spoke with the front office that same day to have them scheduled to come back out. And I also indicated
When are
with
they
the court
coming
that I
back
did
out?
They'll
What
be
date
out
are they
next
coming
week.
back out?
They'll be out. They'll be out next week
What day?
on Monday. Yep, I spoke with PJ in the front office about them coming out on Monday to finish out the repairs.
22nd. So I'm going to order that the landlords to complete whatever else is there on the 22nd, 2024. There'll be, and I'm also going to order no cancellations.
That's fine.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjourn this to April 26, 2024 at 2 p.m. See where the repairs are. I've got 18, I've got some funds. I've got 1620 in escrow. See you next week.
Okay.
Thank you, Anna. I have a 4 o'clock meeting. I can see my tenants is online on the Zoom. We have pretty easy things, so can we go for it? I have 4.
I know, and everybody's got some place to be, ma'am.
I have 7 people waiting. Sorry, I didn't know. I thought it.
Ma'am, I can't have people leaping up to do that. I can call the cases in one order. Where's her case? Just please.
There is no attorney on either side on her matter. She is the plaintiff. So she is right here.
Miss Ann and I don't hope you know. Lynn King versus Brandon Howe. Brown.
Yes, I'm here.
I appreciate it so much.
Well, don't appreciate it, but don't ever do it again.
This is ever.
Don't ever do it again.
Okay, I got it.
Where are we on this case?
I have a settled plan with the Hawk, with Brandon, and the Hawk has a written letter regarding to the payment plan. Do you want to see it?
Amy, can you tell me what's going on with this?
Your Honor, I can offer that they're working with Alicia. There's a $3,000 payment that is expected to be requested on the 26th. Once the client has made half of the installments, there's some sort of payment plan that's been worked out with the client and the landlord.
So they're going to pay, the tenant's going to pay everything, half at least of that by the 26th of what's left.
And that's
Then
when the
there'll be the
$3,000.
request for the 3,000. Okay,
Next
I got you.
Friday. Okay.
Do you have that in the form of a conditional order of dismissal then, ma'am?
I'm sorry, what's your question?
A conditional order of dismissal.
I don't.
What lays out the agreement?
The total is $3,305, and I waived him $305. So if he can pay off on the 26th of April for May.
So you've waived, it's $3,305. You waived the 305.
Yeah,
Hawk's gonna pay 3,000.
yeah,
Hawk knows that you're waiving the 305?
yeah.
Did you know that, Amy?
I don't, so I would request an updated ledger be sent to Alicia if Miss King
gotta
is in
send an
touch with Alicia.
You gotta send an updated ledger. I'll adjourn this matter out to the 26th, 2024 at what time? At 11 a.m. You guys get your paperwork together and I'll be able to call the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Got to be kidding me. Valley Ranch versus Nidal Hamden. And Mr. Hamden, there he is.
I'm here,
All
sir.
right. There you are. All right, what are we doing on this case?
So, Judge, it shows a balance on the ledger of $2,939.36. The defendant concedes that he didn't pay March rent. The confusion on the ledger, the dispute arises out of some issues on the ledger that were in February, then corrected with management, communicated to Mr. Hamden. Everybody should have been, in theory, on the same page. Mr. Hamden still had questions. I believe if I were to break down what the adjustments were made, those were not reasonable, but they may have been reasonable questions, but Mr. Hamden's response to not even the undisputed amount. Management has charged late fees. They would fail to pay anything. And currently the balance stands now. He did pay in April, but there's an unresolved balance. Would you like a further breakdown on the numbers or the costs?
Yeah, well, yes. What are you?
Mr. Hampton was the month of January, signed the lease effective February 27th. There were 3 days that he would have been under the lease, 27, 28, 29. The rest of the month was prorated month to month. Those figures were as follows. The lease prorated amount was $215. The month-to-month prorated amount was $2,104.21. Management's mistake was, instead of charging $215 for the prorated lease amount, they charged $228.62. They made a mistake of $13.62. They did credit that back, Your Honor. There should have been no dispute after that. They made one other mistake. They gave a credit in error as they were trying to calculate the prorated amounts. The credit given in error was $264, and it was removed from his account because it should never have been given in the first place. My client is frustrated. They had to work with Mr. Hamden.
Mr. Hamden, what's your position?
My position is, I think Mr. Chris, he have no idea what he's talking about. I used to pay month-to-month rent, and my balance was paid as January in full. I didn't owe any money. In January, as you could see
You know what?
on
Let me stop you. Because from
Yes.
my perspective, this is, I think, the second time we've been through this,
Yes.
where there's been some dispute. I'm not going to deal with these numbers going back and forth. just going to make a call on it. I'm setting it for trial on the 30th. And I'm just going to make a call, and everybody can tell me at that time what they think they owe or don't owe, because the reality is, if there's an amount you're disputing, then you pay the other amount, but you haven't even done that.
He's supposed to call me last week and have an agreement on something. I text him many times. He never answered my call. He never texted me back. They wouldn't talk to me. So I don't know. The first time he said, let's make it until this week, and the whole week they talk to me. So I don't know what's the purpose of that.
Non-jury trial, April 30th, 2024, 9 a.m. In person.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Northville Crossing versus Eugene Ranke.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law, on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Good afternoon, Eugene Ranke, please.
All right. And where are we on this case?
Total due with cost, Your Honor, $2,047.42.
All right. How are you intending on getting that paid, sir?
Your Honor, I do not owe 2,047 cents. I only owe maybe the month of March and April. I had $800 to pay them for March. They refused that they want $900 and something, which I didn't have. So I used that money to pay other bills. The thing is, we give them $300 today. I just started a new job on Monday this week. The fact that I was laid off since November.
Let me ask you this. How much do you think you owe?
My land rent is supposed to be like $783. Okay, they keep increasing it here and there, putting fees and so on and so forth. I think I owe about $1,400 or $1,500 thereabout.
You owe them $1,400,
which I means March rents and April, because I have not been working. I just got a job, as I said.
Well, I understand you haven't been working. I'm not asking that. I'm asking, how much do you think you owe?
I only owe 2 months, what I think is about.
And what's his monthly rent?
Your Honor, monthly rent is $706, but he also pays an amenity fee of $77. So 706 plus 77, 783 for that portion. Then there are water sewer charges. Those are based on usage, but his are particularly low. So we're, I would say, less than $30 a month.
Okay.
Probably around $20 to $30 per month based on the usage. Frankly, Your Honor, let me go back. I'm curious about these water sewer charges. I mean, they've been pretty consistent at that rate. I don't know if this water sewer charge is because he does not have water turned on at the home, or if this is just because he has very low usage, but I would say $25 to $30 covers that. So we're looking at close to $800 a month for the base charges. There are late fees and obviously the court costs, which court costs are $187.
$187?
That is correct.
So, sir, if you owe 2 months, and even if I take the $25 and not even including any late fees, so I have $783 plus 25, which is going to get me to $818 a month.
Your Honor, it's quite here, $783.
Pardon?
This is the document they give to me.
Are you talking about the complaint?
Yes, sir.
The complaint indicates, Your Honor, that he owes $983.04, and that was what was due as of March 20th.
Correct. That's what was due in March.
And that didn't
Look down
include
at the
court
very
fees,
bottom.
Judge.
Look down at the very bottom and look at the date that it was signed.
Your Honor, yes, I saw it here, 983.04. I'm wondering, how did it get there?
How did what get there?
900, because that's not what I.
Well, hold it. That's not what I'm looking at right now. What I'm looking at right now is your base rent each month. You say you haven't paid March and April, that you would owe for 2 months.
Correct, sir.
So when I add that up, and that's why we were going through the figures, that's about 818 just minimally that would be owing for those 2 months.
What I'm trying to get, Your Honor, is
hold on. No. We're not going to go down that path. Because then what that would do is that brings me to $1,636 that's owing, that you admit to owing. And then they're going to have court costs of $187. So minimally, what I have here at 12, I have $2,023 that you admit, or did I do that? Yes, I did. That you admit is owing. And that's $2,023. They say you owe $2,047.47. So
Your Honor,
if
there was a small rollover balance from February, so that might be where the difference is.
there's no disagreement as to the number.
Well, Your Honor, I mean, the thing is, the fees and all the stuff they put into it really don't supposed to be there, as a matter of fact.
What fees?
They put late fees, they put penalty, they put all kind of.
What fees are not supposed to be here? Sir, I'm just taking what you told me. That you have, basically your base rent is about $783 a month, which is $706 plus an amenity fee. So you have $783 per month, plus your estimated utilities are about $25. That brings me somewhere around $818. And if I do 818 times 2, check me, Miss Ann. 18 times 2, I get 1836. 1636. Then I add the court cost of 187 onto that. And what do I come up with? 1823. All right, so it's 1823. And then they're at 2047. So let's deal with this. If you're saying that there are these fees.
Okay.
Do you have the 1823?
I don't have it right now, sir. I just started a job on Monday this week. I'm not going to get paid until the 6th of May. I can give them $300 check this evening when I get home.
So how are you going to get this paid?
As I said, Your Honor, I just started work on Monday. I get paid bi-weekly. My first paycheck is going to be on the 6th. So I'll give them $300 this evening.
Okay, but understand something. That 1823, right? That you admit that you owe. Forget even the additional amount that they're talking about.
Sure.
That number goes up by $818 because May 1st is coming.
No, normally, Your Honor, it's seven something. So I'm able to meet up some expenses, pay 300 today, going to balance about 1,500. So I will give them some money on the 6th when I get paid. Hopefully before.
What are you going to pay them on the 6th?
I'm going to pay them like $1,000.
Okay, and that's going to cut into this balance that you owe only by $200.
You know, I will pay them up before end of May.
Have you talked to the landlord about working out a payment plan? Because I don't see that there's a tribal issue here as to even these numbers or figures.
Well, I've not really spoken to the to the units, I mean, to the people. The time I spoke to a lady who works there, I told her I have 800 in May for me for March. But she refused to take that money, that she won the whole $900 and something, which I didn't have at that material time. I said, why don't you accept this $800? She is telling me that we should go to court, that the court
Okay, she might be wrong on that, but you don't have that money right now.
I don't have it because, as I said, I've been out of work since November last year. I've been
Okay,
managing.
but sir,
Yes.
I hear what you're saying,
Sure.
but the grand reality is this has to be paid, and you're not telling me how it's going to be paid. That's going to be reasonable for the landlord to do, because each time that you're not paying and it clicks over the first of the month, there's $818 that lops onto this.
Yeah, Your Honor, as I said, I'm going to give them a check this evening for $300. I will do the best I can. If I get paid on the 6th, the first paycheck, I will give them $1,000. In 2 weeks after that, I'll pay the balance.
You're going to have to work that out with the landlord. All right?
Okay, Your Honor.
What fees are you claiming they shouldn't have attached to it?
I mean, when this whole thing started,
No. What fees are you claiming are in this $2,047 shouldn't be on here?
well, I have to check because I know 700 and some. I used to pay 625 from 625 to $707.
So you don't have anything to indicate that any of the fees, which would be late fees, shouldn't be there. You don't have anything, because the late fees are there because you haven't paid your rent.
Correct, Your Honor.
So they're $2,047.47 or 42 cents. That's the correct figure because you haven't paid your rent.
Sure.
And you had a carryover balance from February, so you haven't paid that. And you can't show me anything that disputes these numbers.
Okay. As I said, Your Honor, I will pay out of it this evening, $300 check given to them. When I get my first check next on the 6th, I will pay.
Sir, here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
We're going to give them a judgment for their full amount of $2,047.42. That's going to be a favor to you because that's the amount that you've got to pay off before you get evicted. If I wait until May, that figure is going to be up around the $3,000 mark. And you don't have that. So, finding no tribal issue,
You're
going to grant.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I don't think there's any need to do that. I will do what I can.
What?
To give them a judgment.
I don't have a choice. What would you want me to do?
I want to make a payment plan then.
Okay, but you haven't gone into the landlord to get a payment plan. I can't just make a payment plan. And I can't ask the landlord when 2 months haven't been paid to now wait till the next month clicks in before they're going to get any substantial payment. I can't do that. And I can't do it so that you understand, I can't do that because I got to be fair, try to be fair to both sides as best I can.
Definitely.
I understand what you're saying about when you can pay. I get it. But the problem is they can't, I don't know how they're to wait. And then the money that you had, even though it wasn't the full amount that you were giving, I get there are other bills that come up, but then when I say, well, where's that money that you say the landlord wouldn't take, you don't have it.
Yeah, I have to use to pay all that bill because
no, sir, I understand. I get how life works. I get that. But I can't, I can only do but so much. So what I'm going to do at this point is at least try to lock in the lower number that if you can come up with the $2,047, you can get that paid and still maintain your housing. If I wait until May.
The funny thing is, the other is that I have mortgage I'm paying on the property.
I know.
This just their land fees. You understand me? So I'm paying like about 1,500. Even the land fees is still more expensive than the mortgage I'm paying, which is very questionable. But I will do the best I can, I said, to pay it off.
Here's what I'm going to suggest to you. I'm going to grant a judgment to the plaintiff for possession. I'm going to lock in this lower figure, which is going to take it through April. I'll extend the writ date to 1 day out to April 30th. So I'm going to give you to the end of the month to try to get this paid or work something out with the landlord. All right. So I suggest you go in and talk to him and tell him what you can do and see if you can work something out. If not, you're going to have to try to figure out this 2,000. That's the best I can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. This is a joke. Today is an absolute joke. We need an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself sometimes.
Joke. Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed? We're going to start bringing people in person. People are going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it?
No.
Okay.
I have no patience for that. And trust me, out of the day, I'm the one that needs a drink.